Hi everybody, and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. On this video we've got 2 posts from Am I the A-hole and 1 from Today I F'd Up. So if you want to get started with the stories, then just use the timestamps below the video. Now I'd like to thank all of you that support me as either YouTube members, Twitch subscribers, or even donating during the live streams. Your support means a lot to me, so thank you very much. And if this is the first time watching one of my videos and you like it, then consider subscribing to the channel and joining us on Discord. Now let's get started with today's stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's from user RightManufacturer229. Am I the a-hole for refusing to get rid of a painting my friend made me? My best friend and I, 23 female, met doing art at uni, and since then have always had a tradition of giving each other homemade gifts, varying in levels from absolutely awful but well loved to genuinely time-consuming pieces of art. They have always been a bit on the nose, collages of drunken misdeeds and dodgy shaped pottery, etc. Everyone I'm close to is well aware of this tradition, and we all tend to get a laugh out of it. This year, she gifted me a canvas, A4-ish size, painting of me standing beside a male celebrity that we both like. I absolutely loved it and sent pictures to one of our group chats where everyone laughed at how cringe but genuinely lovely of a gift it was. Straight afterwards, I got a text from my boyfriend of 2 years telling me that he was pissed off and upset at how insulting it was for me to be displaying that in my flat when he would be coming over. It really upset me, but I stood my ground and told him that it was my flat and that this was a genuinely time-consuming piece of art that my friend had put time and effort into, so I would not be getting rid of it just because it made him insecure. I know there wasn't any malice on my friend's part in gifting it to me. She, like me, genuinely wouldn't have considered something that would be upsetting. My boyfriend lives in a house with roommates where they have posters of women on the walls, and I don't really see the difference. But now I'm beginning to doubt myself. I won't get rid of it like he wants me to, but should I be more sympathetic and hide it from him? OP, no, you're clearly not the a-hole on this one, and your boyfriend is being ridiculous. How can he feel insecure about a painting? I mean, it's not like you were actually taking the picture with this guy, which if you did, it would also be an insecure thing to do because you're with him. It's not like you're gonna dump him to be with a celebrity that a friend of yours painted a picture of. He is being incredibly ridiculous, so don't even trip about it. How can he be offended by this thing? This is so weird. No, OP. He should get over this. He shouldn't even have a problem with this, in my opinion. But, you know, some people are more insecure. However, this is just ridiculously insecure. And I think I've already said the word ridiculous like 3 or 4 times, so I'm gonna stop now and ask you, what is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section what you think about this, and now let's move on to the community comments to see their judgment. BoozyQM Shaggis says, not the a-hole, keep the painting, get rid of the boyfriend. Huvien and Mori says, not the a-hole. If your boyfriend is offended by you being in a painting with a celeb, he's not going to last long on a relationship at any point in his life. Jealousy is toxic at the best of times, but over a painting, it's ridiculous. According Television 6 says, not the a-hole based on below, but he is. It would be a weird line to draw anyway over a painting of a celebrity. The hypocrite aspect just makes it worse. Info, this is just a normal painting of you standing next to a celebrity? And OP responds, yeah, there's nothing untoward about it. It's just a rework of a fan meet and greet, I think, but she put me in there instead. OP's edit, thank you so much for all the advice. Since people have asked, it's a very PG painting. The celeb's chest up and an arm around me. I think she took reference from a meet and greet with him and a fan and just replaced the fan with me. He also hasn't said why it upsets him, just that it makes him uncomfortable, and if I don't understand why, then that's my problem. I'll be sitting down to try and make sense of it once he's calmed down. These comments have really opened my eyes about how concerning this could be. Thank you again. And there you go. I wasn't the only one who thought this thing was ridiculous. Apparently everybody else did, and somebody said it too. Hopefully that conversation goes well and the boyfriend understands that he's being a jealous clown over nothing, or this relationship has its days numbered. Either way, OP will eventually be okay and gets to keep the painting. And now we will move on with the next post. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole? And it's from user GoGoSujin. Am I the a-hole for not calling my husband my honored husband in front of his parents? I am a 28-year-old woman and have been married to my husband, a 32-year-old man, since 2018. My husband is ethnically Japanese and a second-generation American. His parents are from Osaka. He kind of sort of half speaks Japanese. Most sentences he has memorized are greetings, and his parents speak great English. On the other hand, I lived in Japan for 3 years, so I am conversationally pretty good. I have studied hard to get to the level I am at, and I have passed level 2 of the Japanese language proficiency test. Not great, but not bad. Lately, my husband is super into me calling him Gozuzin-sama, which can be translated to my honored husband. It's extremely unusual to call your own husband this, as it is usually reserved for other people's husbands as a respectful term, but it's kind of an anime Japanese geek culture thing. I was okay with it in private because it makes him happy. Last week, we went to his parents' house for dinner, and on the way over, he asked if I could call him Gozuzin-sama all evening. I immediately shot his idea down with a firm no, because that would be super embarrassing. His parents are native Japanese speakers in their 60s. I'm not going to subject them to what you'd pay a waitress in a maid cafe $20 for a cup of coffee to call you. To be honest, I don't think my husband really gets how the phrase is properly used, despite his insistence. He kept trying to convince me, reminding me that he is Japanese and knows what is proper, despite the fact that I speak better Japanese than him. But I was having none of it. I just shut down and tuned him out. We got there, and sometime into the night I called his name to ask if he wanted a drink. Despite him being in hearing range, he ignored me. I said it again, and this time he looked at me, gave me this pleading shrug, and then turned back to the TV. I didn't get him a drink and just got myself one. A while later, I said his name again, and he audibly sighed. He told me that he wanted me to call him what I call him at home, to which I responded I would most certainly not be calling him what I call him at home. This was all in front of his parents, by the way. On the car drive home, I told him that I wasn't going to call him Gozuzin-sama anymore because he can't draw the line between fun, playful couple stuff and his parents. He has sulked for the past week and I don't even know what to do. Normally, I would not even consider the possibility that I was wrong here, but he's normally a very rational, reasonable, and respectful person. I feel like I'm being gaslit and don't know what to do. I believe I may be the a-hole because it has clearly upset him a lot. I could have easily bitten the bullet and done what he liked, but I felt it was too embarrassing. Maybe I should not have. Am I the a-hole? Well, OP, I'm inclined to say not the a-hole, but then again, I do not know anything about Japanese culture and I apologize if I pronounce Gozuzin-sama wrong, but I did my best with what's online on how to pronounce it. I would say not the a-hole because apparently you know more about Japanese and the way words are used than your husband does. So if you believe it's embarrassing for you to say that in front of his parents and he wants you to do that, then I'd say no, what you did was right. You shut it down and you weren't the a-hole. That would be my logic in this case. But again, I am absolutely ignorant regarding Japanese culture. So in this case, I'm going to ask you guys, if there's anybody listening to this video right now that knows if OP is the a-hole or not, please let us know in the comment section. And in the meantime, I'm going to move on to the community comments to see what they had to say. JCKun31 says, not the a-hole. This is so cringe. Roman Buckminster 88 says, not the a-hole, but is he okay? He sounds like he's regressing into a childlike resistance, like, call me Captain America. And you agree because he's a child and he's having fun. But this is a grown-ass man wanting you to tell everyone something kind of intimate, my interpretation. It's very weird. Celery Cheese Peanuts says, not the a-hole. You are the one who is linguistically and culturally correct here. Goshujin sama or Goshujin is used when referring to someone else's husband. Shuyin is used when talking about your own husband to someone else, and when younger modern Japanese couples talk amongst themselves, they either used their names with san, chan, or kun, or anata, wife to husband, and kimi, husband to wife. Hell, if they have kids, it's not uncommon to call each other mother and father, which I find a bit creepy. If you had called him Goshuyin-sama in front of his parents, they may have been able to tell him right then and there that it was incorrect outside of an NHK Taiga drama. But more likely, they would think it's your language mistake because you're not Japanese and say nothing, which would be no help to you. Your husband is in the wrong in trying to make you do something which would be quite frankly embarrassing outside of your own home. I don't know why he's being such a child about it, but if I were to think of a darker reason, I think he may have been looking forward to impressing his parents with how subservient his wife is, not realizing that they wouldn't have been impressed. By the way, my father-in-law calls my mother-in-law oi. Older Japanese men aren't exactly famous for being romantic with their wives. Well, there you go. The community thinks OP is not the a-hole, and this last commenter just gave us a very thorough explanation as to why it would have been embarrassing if OP said it and that the husband is in the wrong. So now we move on with the next post. This post is from the subreddit Today I Effed Up, and it's from user Miniletters181. Today I effed up by allowing my boyfriend to fix my portable charger. Obligatory. This happened several years ago. Just to clarify, this story is about my boyfriend and me. He is now my fiance though, and I refer to him as such in the story. We were not engaged at 15. So, my fiance and I got together when we were 15. We were both the horniest Fs on the planet, as a lot of teenagers tend to be. I would sneak him into my room in the middle of the night and we'd just go at it. It was the middle of winter when these events transpired. My fiance and I had just finished an intense round of sex. We were chilling in bed when I mentioned my portable charger wasn't working properly and I needed it for school the next day. My fiance is really handy with electronics and decided he would try to fix it. He bends down, picks up the charger and starts messing with it. 5 minutes later, I hear a hiss and the room starts filling with smoke. I look over at my fiance and he has dropped the portable charger, which is now on fire, and he is repeatedly stomping on it with his bare foot while it spewed flames. I start panicking, knowing what's about to happen next. I leap out of bed right as the fire alarm starts going off. I yell at my fiance to hide in the closet while I handle the situation. My father had caught us before and threatened to put bars on my window if he caught us again. My horny brain couldn't stand the thought of not having our midnight sexcapades anymore. As I was naked, I quickly bundled up in a blanket and hauled ass up the stairs to assess the damage. By this time, everyone in the house was awake due to the fire alarms screeching. I tell my dad my portable charger exploded before yeeting myself back downstairs. I open my closet and tell my fiance to get out the window now. I watch my butt-ass naked fiance scramble out of my basement window into the snow outside. My father and uncle burst into the room and spray the flaming battery pack with a fire extinguisher. Afterwards, my father tells me I'll be sleeping on the couch for the night. All the while, my poor fiance is shivering outside, naked for all the world to see. I managed to get him his clothes and sent him home for the night. My carpet and pride never recovered. Well, OP, I think I'm going to say that your boyfriend may not be as handy as he thought he was with electronics, or as you thought he was. Hopefully he didn't catch a cold while he was butt naked in the snow, and the silver lining is that you didn't get any bars in your windows. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing, and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.